Hello, hello, hello. What is poppin', party people? So today, what I want to talk about is the story in the Bible of Isaac, Esau, and Jacob. Hey, my name's Jacob. The Bible is the ultimate metaphysician's handbook, meaning that the Bible is a book of symbols, not a historical document. And the reason that it's a book of symbols is because it is the blueprint for how to utilize your human consciousness to basically manipulate reality. And when you first read it, it's a bunch of stories. So you see people make movies about it. You go to Sunday school and they're like, da 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 da. This is what happened. Where's the tomb? Where's the cities that these things happened, etc. And it's meant to be that way because as you rise levels in consciousness, you see the same things differently. So none of that is wrong or bad. It's just not the true intention behind it. And additionally, if you have the secrets of the universe, you want them hidden in plain sight. You don't want them, being obscure. You want people to be able to access them when they're ready for them. So one of the best case studies in the Bible of how to create reality is the story of Isaac, Esau, and Jacob. So Isaac is blind. He's the father. He has two sons, Esau, who is a hairy boy, and Jacob, who's a smooth-skinned boy. And essentially, Esau is the one who's going to get the blessing, but he goes out hunting, and while he's out hunting, Jacob comes in to the room. Remember, Isaac is blind, and Jacob wears a sheepskin, and Isaac feels him, and he thinks that he's Esau, and he gives him the blessing and the inheritance. Okay, so you read that from a story perspective, and you're like, well, what the fuck does that even mean? You're like, that's the dumbest story I've ever heard in my entire life. But the Bible, once again, is built on symbolism. And the symbolism of these things represent the eternal psychological conscious states that we embody from time to time. So Isaac being the father, Isaac is your I am awareness. When you meditate and clear your mind of all thought, the only thing that remains is a knowingness of being. You could call that all space. You could call that the ether. You could call that pure consciousness. You could call that whatever you want to do. Unconditioned consciousness, unconditional love. You could call it that. Now, unconditional consciousness focuses in one of two ways. It can focus on an internal world or it can focus on an external world. When you have an external world, the representation of that external world is Esau. Esau is noted as a hairy boy. That boy is hairy. Okay, so if you think about your external reality, you are able to tactilely feel your way through your reality using your five senses because it is a hairy boy world, right? This shit is real. You can feel it. It is a grosser form of manifestation. Now, Jacob is a smooth-skinned boy. The meaning of that is Jacob is your fourth dimensional mind. Your fourth dimensional mind is your subtle reality, your smoother reality. Now, think about how if I yell, hello, and I hear that with my ears, I can also in my mind go, hello, and I can hear it in my mind. So the dimensions of sense are extroverted and introverted. I can hear my own thoughts, but I can also say something and I can hear it with my physical ears. So that represents the duality of consciousness. Not necessarily duality, but the more subtle dimension versus the more gross dimension. Jacob in the Bible is the non-realized precursor to Jesus Christ or Christ consciousness. So Christ is the Savior. You follow Christ to save you from your present circumstances. That means that you give the blessing to your wonderful human imagination. The precursor to that is the basic concept of the choice point between a gross physical reality and a subtle reality that is in your mind. So if you have a circumstance externally in your Esau world that is not favorable, then you use your Isaac, your I amness, and you choose Jacob, the soft skin version, the mental fourth dimensional picture, to give the blessing, meaning you feel the sheepskin on Jacob, meaning that you give the fourth dimensional reality all of the sensory faculties as if it were real happening now. Meaning that instead of panicking externally and seeing this is real and going, oh no, I can touch it, taste it, smell it, this is really happening, you go into your mind and you see it as if it were the way you wanted it to be, with all of the trappings of reality. Like I mentioned before, you can hear in your mind, you can feel things in your mind. Like if you go into your mind and you remember what your blanket feels like at home, you can feel that actual feeling state of what it feels like to touch your blanket at home in your mind without using your hands. So anytime there's an unwanted circumstance, you use your I am Isaac consciousness to give the blessing to Jacob, which is the more subtle reality, your favored reality, the reality that you can in this now moment curtail to be your ideal, and you dominantly, exclusively focus your attention and I amness on that, and you feel yourself to be in that reality now, using your internal faculties as opposition to your external faculties. So the Bible is basically a coded codex of these different states that allow you to create reality by using your mind and internal state to affect the external state. But I wanted to get on here and I wanted to talk about that story because it is the precursor, the progenitor to really developing your internal skill sets to create reality at a much higher level. And it's one of my favorite stories because my name is Jacob and I just shaved, so I am the smooth skinned boy. Now, that being said, if you guys want coaching and any of that good stuff, click the link tree in the comments. Leave comments if you have questions or anything that you'd like me to make videos on. And I hope you guys have a killer day.